So,
Perfect.
all right. Hi, everybody out there
Hello.
in YouTube land. My name is Eileen McKusick. Most of you know me because it's my channel. But I'm here with my brothers, my soul brothers, Isaac and Thorald Koren. And we're just going to talk to you just a little bit about work that we created together to liberate your voice for singing, for speaking, for creating, called Sing the Body Electric. And we're going to be doing a 4-week course and that starts in February. But before we do that, we're going to do a free 1-hour taste of Sing the Body Electric to introduce you to it so you can try before you buy. But before we go into that, Isaac and Charles, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourselves?
Yeah, of
Yes,
course.
I'm
Thanks for having
Isaac.
us here. Yeah, I'm Thorald, and we are the brothers Koren. We have had the pleasure of, over the course of about a decade, particularly a decade, taking people on embodied voice journeys using music, song, and voice through courses and programs, and our sort of flagship way called the Songwriter's Journey. And that's how we met you originally, Eileen, back pre-COVID and into COVID. We got to go on a songwriter's journey together and both fall in love, not just with each other, but this idea that voice was an ultimate medium of sonic health. And I feel like that's where we've met into this. I can't wait for you to tell the story of how we accidentally created this work. And it's a thrill to be here. Our mission that wakes us up is to see as many human beings liberated to the freedom and the radical opportunity it is to be home in these instruments and to be free to move toward sounds that went unsounded and feelings that have gone unfelt, to feel that power again.
So true. I mean, we have been doing this work for 10 years, but it wasn't until about a year and a half, 2 years ago now that we discovered these new virtually sounds. Really, ultimately, it comes down to the quality and the power of these vowel sounds and these tones and the way of directing the voice all around the body with sounds that really line up with our intention. And it's radically shifted our daily work. It's radically shifted our relationship, our own relationship to our voice. And it's radically shifted the work that we do with others. I mean, really, our daily work has become using the sonic anatomy as the most effective sounds that we get to make with people. So we're really excited to keep offering it, to spread it, to put it into your life. And I think, to add to what Thorald said, I mean, the sonic anatomy and the Sing the Body Electric work that we've created with Eileen really pushes the work from cathartic to really healing. You know, it really opens up the possibility of creating positive brain states, but also, feeling that sense of deep relaxation but aliveness all at the same time, which comes from greater oxygenation, stimulating the vagus nerve, and also recognizing that the voice is creating light as well as sound. Like we're literally filling our cells with, speaking to our cells with the language that they speak of sound and light. And so I'm really excited to kind of dig in and explore this with you further.
Yeah, well, my goal and aim has always been freedom and liberation. I talk about how my mission is to free the humans. And I think one of the really primary ways that we've become bound is in our voices. That most people are terrified to sing in front of others, or even speak publicly, or even advocate for themselves or speak their truth or be honest or authentic. And there's a real liberation in freeing the voice and getting to the place where you actually enjoy the instrument that is the human body. Like we're a wind instrument that can make so many cool, fun sounds by ourselves or with other people. And most people aren't at liberty to enjoy that. And to go even further than to really consciously and actively use our own voice for our own health and well-being and coherence. And so this is where our worlds intersected, these guys with voice and me with therapeutic sound. And originally I started with them because they were going to help me over my terror, my irrational terror of singing in front of other people. I really believe it's important that we confront our fears and we overcome them. Where there's fear, there's power. I think that's kind of an interesting way to think about it.
Yes.
And in the process of going through their songwriter's journey, I'm pretty masterful at avoiding and kicking cans down the road. I was like, I'm not ready to sing yet. And through that sort of procrastination and avoidance, we very unintentionally birthed the body of work that we call Sing the Body Electric. What it really is a whole bunch of different sounds, like sounds that babies make naturally as they're exploring their resonant cavities, and doing it as an adult, and with it's very sandboxy, right? There's no wrong notes. You don't have to sing on key. You just get to explore and play resonating different sounds in different parts of your body. And by the time you're all done, suddenly you can sing. It's kind of a backdoor way into helping you to feel more creative, more soulful, more enjoyment, more play with your instrument.
Oh, so well said. And I feel like that is one of the big breakdowns right now. And for those of you that are with us and have yet to try Sing the Body Electric with us, it really is a backdoor back home, right? To a voice that nature gave you, and that pop culture or the world, the pressures of the world, especially this like modern day education system that unfortunately music, song, and especially the voice got put in, like got placed in. And it's the lens called excellence. And so many of us have fallen for this conscious and unconscious program called, well, if I'm going to raise my voice, it better be good, liked, acknowledged, and excellent. Otherwise, why bother? And especially around holding out a long note that we call singing. And so a lot of people just almost accidentally have become inhibited here. And of course, the voice is with us from moment one when we wake up to when we go to bed. And of course, all trauma processes through our voice. Feelings that went unfelt, moments in life where you were not supported to truly feel how you felt is part of this work. So what happens when you come through the back door and what you said, wrong notes? There's no such thing. There's just notes. There's just sounds that got stuck. There's still feelings that went unfelt. And what of a new sandboxy safe space to fall back into trust and love that your voice you've been given is yours to reawaken and be liberated to again.
That's so true. I find that in the world of sound healing, you've got so many, you lean into what sounds good, right? You lean into pleasing sounds, harmonious sounds. It's not like you often kind of choose dissonant sounds to lie back and have a sound bath for. However, what we find with the voice, that there's both and experience, because we would typically think that, oh, if I don't like the sound of my voice, how can it be healing to go towards and make sounds with an instrument I don't like? But what we find is that moving through and finding acceptance and love for your voice, no matter how it sounds, can be tremendously healing on so many levels, mentally, emotionally, and also physically. And when we move past the need to always find the sound pleasing and then move to, well, can that be a feeling? Even if the feeling is a feeling that has gone unfelt or is difficult to feel, when we add our voice, then we move past that need for it to be pretty or purely harmonious, we can actually radicalize our healing process and actually find areas of us that we've been avoiding, or do that kind of shadow work, bring those shadows into the light. And it is different. It's a bigger space than just bowls and forks, and because it's deeply personal, and it requires more self-love and more self-care, and where vulnerability is also power.
Yeah, I think that's key, right? You can't be truly powerful unless you're ready, willing, and able to be truly vulnerable. And there's so much vulnerability in the voice, but when you can be so free with these sounds that we make, and this is really hours of toning that we do of different different parts of the body. We have different zones. We have what we call tones and demitones and zones, and these things we created that are healing tonics, that are like chords or stringing together different tones and demitones to create a real tangible and immediate effect in the body, that you can do not just for yourself, but you can sing for other people. And so this work is so useful for so many different kinds of people to do, right? So in our courses, we've been doing this for a few years now. We've certainly had sound healers, a lot of biofield tuning practitioners that have come on board, and they're combining biofield tuning with the sonic anatomy. And but we also have voice coaches, elementary school music teachers. What are some of the other vocations that people have told us that they do and that they're...
Yeah, I mean, kind of all somatic therapies, really. Seeing how the voice plays a role in the processes of digesting, metabolizing, through wellness. Through any practices of wellness, any modality, voice can play a role. And what we find is that voice is a vulnerable space, so it requires that additional, I guess not techniques, but modalities that make it safe again. And right now, even now, more than ever, maybe, it's been a hostile voice environment. It really has been a place that even the most courageous person is not so sure how someone's going to take it if they start to say, well, what does that sound like? Let me sing that with you.
Yeah, a recent study this year showed that up to 75% of people have some form of inhibition or glossophobia, fear of public speaking. And what we find is that beyond words, when we just move into the voice with sounds and we free the mind to be making meaning, making stories, and we kind of attach pure feeling or emotion to sound, we find that it strengthens the container and silences those small voices a little bit, just over time through practice, so that when we go to speak at work or at a function or raise a toast or ask for what we need or say no to something, when there's pressure to say yes, when there's so much pressure on our voice, just by expanding and strengthening the container somatically with our vowel sounds, we'll show up everywhere, in all of the relationships and experiences and environments of your voice.
Yeah, that's definitely what we've heard from people, that they say that it spills out into the rest of their life in their ability to communicate more clearly, more confidently, more from a more embodied, empowered place. It definitely makes your voice richer and more interesting to listen to. And when you start to use your voice from all of these different parts of your body, you are sonically massaging yourself from the inside. So as opposed to, if you're just only speaking in one place, then that's the only place that's getting any kind. But if you move it all around, then, it's more interesting for you and for anyone who's listening to you as well. So
I feel like, Eileen, your case in point, like just listening to the resonance that I've just it's hard to see yourself all the time, but just watching your journey, reclaiming your voice, and then seeing this work come out of you and just hearing your resonance now, I feel like you're like the greatest testimony. Of course, we have some other incredible testimonials already on how working in the Sing the Body electric work has entirely reshaped someone's, I think, first and foremost, relationship to their voice. Like if you can change the relationship to your own voice, everything kind of follows, because what we find is the first thing in that reframe, that reclaiming of your real voice, is so many of us have been looking outside, like externalizing and projecting and presenting and asking, well, how should this sound, or what's pretty, or what's correct, or what's sharp, what's flat? Do we sing in this family? All these questions are so projective. And Sing the Body Electric says, forget about that. Come back home and explore yourself as a playground to seek out the true sounds of you en route to that liberation. And honestly, that coherence that so many of us are walking around with, just parts of us that have become offline and unavailable. And I think so much of Sing the Body Electric is creating that bioavailability sonically, and of course there's ways to do that. But is there any truer, more natural way to do that than using the human voice, your voice? And we all have these voices for a finite period of time, and here's that opportunity to feel that and find that freedom again.
Yeah, from the inside out, right? I think that's what has been so key to me, is that in making these baby sounds like ga and wah, ma and pa and things like that, but really resonating them in certain areas. When a baby is making sounds like that, there's no inner duality. There's no like self-judging self, right? It's such a pure, free expression that a baby gets to enjoy. But then as we become adults and we become inwardly divided, and then there's like self-judging self and how does it sound? And then we completely lose the experience of what's going on inside and how it feels and the way that we can play with it. I think for me, that has been the biggest liberation in doing this work, is to go from this weird, self-conscious, externally oriented, kind of tense nervousness into just like a freedom of like, yay, I have a voice and I love playing with it and I love exploring every day, resonating all these different parts of my body and moving sound through my body. It's we're all musicians and we all have this incredible gift and we're all so unique. And what we've seen in our courses is that everybody's voice is wonderful. Like, right? Anybody who gets vulnerable, who dares to suck, as you guys say, and sings, is so moving and beautiful and powerful. This beauty that everyone's got. And see people step into that and find that freedom and then continue to grow with it. I don't think there's anything better, honestly, than participating in that process, and then like what we do, facilitating other people to also have it, because it really is moving towards the freedom that I know we all know we want. We just don't all know that it's through the voice is probably the best way, the most effective way, like in order to feel that kind of liberation and freedom and lack of self-consciousness that I think so many people want to feel, like this road gets you there.
It does.
Yeah.
Do we have a couple of testimonials that we might be able to read, or one?
I think I pulled up one. Let me just, I'll share this one. So this is just someone who's gone through a course. I feel empowered by my own ability to access parts of me that I have not celebrated for a long time, even a lifetime. I feel like I have come home to me and that my voice matters. The sonic anatomy tones give full permission to emote, as there are no wrong notes. Total acceptance of being and living out loud. Permission granted to be alive. Now I am over the moon to sing and dance with others, all in the name of self-discovery, joy, acceptance, and love. I want others to know the power of their voice and that they matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes.
Right? Yeah, it's a good summary. And we have hundreds of testimonials from people, because they are so enthusiastic about this work and how it shifts them up and how you feel after the workshop. I mean, that alone, like, you just feel incredible, whether it's virtual or whether it's live. Like, people feel amazing afterwards.
Absolutely.
And in this case, this is going to be our first time. Well, there's 2 invitations we have for all of you
3.
that are here with us. Well, 3. Okay. The first one is, if you've never had a taste of this work, or if you have, please join us again. On December 6th, we are doing an hour free experience called A Taste of Sing the Body Electric, where we'll be doing really moments of each kind of part of Sing the Body Electric and giving a sample, being together both from tuning, breathing, and then some of the foundational tones, how we tune in, tune up, and allow ourselves to sing out and begin to find that liberation. And a little bit about the zones as well. We'll be tasting the resonant zones that we go into. And then, of course, the other unique thing about our next Sing the Body Electric is this is the first time we're ever breaking it out into a month-long course. We've never done that before. We've only ever done 2-day experiences. So if you've done Sing the Body Electric with us before, this would be a fantastic opportunity to go deeper and break it out over the course of a month with us, because just in this way alone, we're going to get the chance to go even deeper.
So please join us on December 6th and get a taste of this work if you haven't yet. And if you have, please come back and get another taste.
And then if you already know that you want to take the course, our 4-week course starts February 1st, and you can find that at singthebodyelectric.com, and I will drop the link in this video. And then we also, you can mark your calendars if you want to come experience this live with us. Actually, we have 2 events already scheduled for next year. We have July 5th through 7th, I believe, at Kripalu in Western Massachusetts. We were there last year and we had a fantastic time. It's a great campus. The food is really good. The performance space is a blast. And we just had a ball. We did a campfire sing along, and it's really a fun time. And then for you folks on the West Coast, we're going to be at Esalen in November. What are the dates of that?
I think 15th to 17th. Yeah.
15th to 17th. And probably more to come, but we can get started with the free taste, the 1-hour taste, and you get to be like, what are the tones? What are the demitones? What are the zones? I want to hear tonic. You'll get to explore all of that with us, and hopefully be excited to sign up with us in February. This is the first time that we will be doing it as 2-hour classes once a week, because previously we've done 4 hours on Saturday, 4 hours on Sunday. It's a little bit of a fire hose. and so this way we're setting it up. You'll be able to practice each week the things that get introduced. And I think we'll all go a lot deeper with that process. So we would love to see you guys at any of these events.
Oh, please. And if you're mad enough to do them all, we'll be thrilled. What I've discovered is this work is about gathering experiences. One of the great parts of the human voice is that we often have spent a lot of time thinking, preparing, waiting for the invitation, waiting for the request. And then we get busy about practicing one thing. We don't have a lot of invitations to just gather experiences. And what we find, trusting nature, is nature learns, grows, and emerges through gathering experiences. And every day I show up to the Sonic Anatomy and the resonant zones, and I'm like, oh, it's like the first time.
It's better every
and
time.
The last time. And it goes deeper, more dimensional, better, like Isaac said. It just becomes more graceful, easeful, and powerful. So if you still love this work and done it, come deeper with us. We'd love to continue gathering experiences together.
Yeah, I know. I have to say that this work led me in a very short time from not even being willing to sing in front of these guys. Like you couldn't have anybody safer to sing in front of, honestly, because they do this all the time, to actually leading sing-alongs.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
in pretty short order.
Yeah. And now you love it. I see you singing.
So happy to dare to suck and just enjoy and play. Yeah.
Well, come and have what she's having.
Yep.
Yeah. What's next? Thank you for having us, Eileen, and thank you to everyone. And we're looking forward to hopefully getting to connect together.
See you there.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Stay well.